This week on Nerds Who Get Laid Sometimes, we discuss the talks of a new actor being cast as the Joker, Star Wars, tons of Star Wars everywhere, Disney's new streaming service, Venom, Deadpool, and a ton more. Seriously, guys, we packed so much into this show. So stick around and give it a listen.
Good evening, and thank you for listening to Nerds Who Get Laid
Sometimes.
Tonight we have Ray, Mike, TJ, and myself, Nathan. We're missing one person. May God rest his soul.
I think we sound better than normal, too.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Much cleaner sound.
Yeah.
Literally, it's cleaner.
Well, also, my...
I was going to say it doesn't sound as fat in here.
I'm not having just giant waves of air blow on me as someone's neck just pulsates out.
It's a little hot in here.
Yeah, it is. It's like he's the human oscillating fan.
Yeah,
that's true. Each one of his beard hairs separates into smaller beard hairs to catch more air and move it as he shakes his head back and forth.
While also catching a lot of dust. I never realized how dusty it was in here until right now. He's essentially filtering Ray's dusty ghost house for us.
It's really true. Actually, my allergies are way better around Chuck's beard.
So we have to apologize if we start sneezing a whole lot. It's probably Gesundheit, sir. So got a pretty exciting show.
They're pretty relaxed.
A lot of trailers dropped this week that we're going to be talking about.
Is there a tornado?
Some that are good. Some not so much. People kind of hating on it.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Send us some questions, so be ready for that. Of course, you got to wait to the end to hear your own fucking questions be answered, because otherwise you'll just jump off and not listen to anything else.
And we'll never tell you where at the end.
I'm sure they just can't wait to hear our lackluster answers as we blow off their question.
Weirdly, this isn't live, so technically they could just scroll to the end.
Exactly.
I would suggest around...
No, they said I couldn't. I can't do it.
About minute 45.
Must resist.
What we do is if we do time notes, just put the wrong time.
So it takes them back to the beginning.
Exactly.
And, of course, this week is the very loved, very celebrated holiday of Valentine's Day. Valentine's, everybody excited for that? You got your some candies and cards set to do.
I'm actually more pumped about President's Day on the 19th.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about either of those days. So
we get President's Day off. So
there's the local festivities.
Yeah.
Fun fact about Valentine's Day: when Valentine's Day began in Japan, it was correctly mistranslated, and it was a
it was correctly
it was sorry. It was mistranslated, like the idea behind it. So Valentine's Day, somehow basically they have 2 days. So Valentine's Day is for girls, I believe. Women, like, you can dote on them and do all the stuff like it's acceptable to here. And then there's White Day, which is or Whito Day, which is where it's the same thing but for dudes, which is the urban myth over in America, the steak and blowjob day. I'm sure it's something very similar to that.
Thank you for that history lesson. I feel
asleep.
Well, I mean, you are really
I feel
old,
like we should incorporate more Japanese culture into America.
Been trying to. Just
what do you say about bukkake?
Yeah, a lot of tentacle porn we've been looking forward to, and it's just not really catching on, man. I don't know. As much as I draw it, no one ever wants to see it.
All those movies Nathan's making.
And you've been trying to get it into the grade schools where it can really change
anime
things.
Club is like just a huge catalyst. So, I mean, just be careful.
It really hurt his YouTube channel when the local pet store quit selling octopi to him.
Well, I'm the jerk that shows up at the anime club high school handing out my local, mangas of tentacle porn, and I'm getting the restraining order for sharing in their love of comics. Fuck me, right? So it is what it is. With that being said, let's go over to Nerd-Ons.
Get your nerd on. 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 Get your nerd on.
You know what's weird is that spelled backwards it still says get your nerd on. It's not really funny, but it is. It's kind of weird.
I'm more mad that I took the time to wonder in my head what it actually is backwards.
Race car is one.
Yeah, that is actually
Called
one.
a palindrome,
I don't know if you
believe.
could hear what we were talking about during the. I know Ray sometimes cuts in and out, but Mike claimed that "Get Your Nerd On" backwards is "Get Your Nerd On," and man, that's what we got to deal
All
with.
three of them tried it out.
Luckily, no one actually said it out loud. We just all thought, and we said that fucking asshole.
Well, my favorite joke is this guy, and this will be quick.
Your favorite joke.
This is my
bullshit.
This is
your
favorite one.
This is my favorite
We're
terrible
not
joke.
Put this
building
on
this
your
up.
tombstone.
Yeah, because it's kind of ripping on somebody. But there's a guy that both TJ and I have worked with in the past. Nathan currently works with him. But he has this joke that he thinks is just the funniest thing in the world. You know, kind of like the people do the old dihydrogen monoxide thing. You know, like that's on the level this joke is.
Okay.
But he's like, the funny thing, man, is talk to dumb people and say, hey, you know how they call it Mayo? Which there's a town nearby called Mayo, Florida. He's like, because that's where all the Mayo's grown. Like, that's his joke.
So this is the
That's
Nerd On,
his
where we
joke.
go over what we've been
Jesus.
doing weekly. Luckily, hopefully
Sell
Mike
Mike stock.
isn't telling jokes because it just bottom out. Jump out the window if you had stock because you might as well kill yourself if that's the level we're getting tonight.
Well,
Is that worse than my level?
Well,
So the lowest.
the thing is that I prefaced it,
But your stock was never at a high.
It's been high before.
It's went
been
up.
higher.
It's went up.
and now they're ignoring me.
I'm sorry.
We're talking stocks here, Mike.
Listen, Chuck Jr., we'll get to you in a second.
Shit.
I don't take stock in your bullshit conversations, Ray. I'm not fucking wearing flip-flops and tube socks too, Nathan.
You got no way to prove it. This is a podcast, motherfucker. So, Ray, what you been
Why would
nerding
I
out
make
on?
up something that lame?
Because you already made up one thing about Get Your Nerd On being Get Your Nerd On backwards. You
Why would he ever lie to us about
lied,
anything?
sir. You lose.
All right, so
Willy
this week's
Wonka
been a lot about
quotations
comics
at
for
me.
me.
But comics.
I
Bill
got.
Burr is the only funny comic these days.
Oh gosh. I got to read the Swamp Thing Winter Special. That was pretty killer. I did a review on it on GWW. I did a lot of reviews this week.
9.5 Ray gave.
Yeah, it was good. Did y'all go read it?
I read your review.
Was
Oh,
that
okay.
the jalapeno scale? Or-
Yes,
Okay.
it's all with me, whether it says it or not. Always
It's
the
jalapenos.
jalapenos. Yeah.
Okay.
But it was really good. The whole first part of it was like a definite story and a like comic, and then the second was unfortunately both of the creators of Swamp Thing passed away last year. So the second one was the all the artwork with just the script because Lynn passed away before it was able to be put out and everything. So it was kind of a tribute to both of them. But it was a really good story.
Awesome.
So I really dug it.
What were some highlights of it? Like, why did you like it so much? I know you wrote an entire review about it. But
I did write an entire review about it. You can go read that review at...
Well, it's like this. You know how like what they'll do is like on Stuff You Should Know does the top 10 list.
Yeah.
But they only say 7 of them, and you got to read the article to get the other 3.
So the first story, I would say maybe the main meat of the special
Now you're talking.
is it's a one-off, just kind of not throwaway, but it's just a one-off story. You're not having to go like read this other thing or this whatever. And it's just Swamp Thing and this kid. And it's one of those stories where you're so confused through the whole thing. And it's Swamp Thing running away from this villain, and you just don't know why. And you just watch him Swamp Thing's a pretty hulking, huge guy. and he just becomes emaciated by the end of it when he finally figures out what's going on. So it was just a very impactful, well done story that I thought it was just fun. It wasn't fun in the way of that was a good story, not so much as funny little swamp thing there, But I really dug it. If you are able to get out and pick that one up, it's worth picking up. The art in it was gorgeous, and the story was just solid. It was really, really solid. I also got to read X-Men Red #1, which is Jean Grey's back. Not the time displaced Jean Grey, the actual Phoenix Bird lady Jean Grey from the 60s that's grown up now. I haven't finished all of Phoenix Resurrection, so I don't know how or why she's actually back. But I did read X-Men Red, which is her new team and her new thing, and it was really good as well. It's probably... It's only one issue in, so it's hard to say if it's going to be really, really good or if it just had a good issue. But I really enjoyed it so far. And I also read, because I did a review of X-Men Red, which you can also find on GWW, but Gambit and Rogue 1 and 2, because I wanted to review #2.
Was that the picture that you posted because they're in reverse costumes?
No, that was just something else I found. Yeah, just from seeing stuff.
That was a fun picture.
Yeah, there was a picture that I found that was Gambit in a Rogue style costume, more masculine Rogue style costume, and Rogue in a more Gambit style costume. But this comic is because I'm definitely from like the 80s and 90s, so the 90s X-Men cartoon wasn't a lot of people. That's their first introduction to X-Men. It wasn't mine, but it played a big role on how I saw the X-Men. Yep. And Rogue and Gambit, as shitty as their relationship got and retconned and all the shit that happened, they're still a really fun relationship. And the writer on this, I can't remember her name right now, she nails it. It is a fun comic that anyone could get into and just read. But if you've been with the X-Men for so long, like there's so many little nuggets here and there, little Easter eggs, little things going on that you can, a big X-Men fan can really, really appreciate. And she just nails the voice of the two of them. They end up going off, Kitty Pryde, who is the leader of the X-Men currently. There's an island getaway that does like couples counseling, and mutants are showing up there and then disappearing. So she wants to send someone in, to like kind of infiltrate, and the only person other than her and Colossus that would fit the bill would be someone with baggage like Rogue and Gambit. So that's the thing. And Rogue's being Rogue and Gambit's being Gambit. Gambit's like still trying to get up with Rogue, and Rogue's just not having any of it, but kinda she's like resisting but not, and they're just getting in fights and stuff left and right. And it is a really fun comic. So that's probably my favorite X-Men series that's going on right now. I also finally got a chance to read Marvel Legacy, and that was some crazy stuff. The whole line right now is quote unquote Marvel Legacy, I believe, or most of the stories, but this was like the kickoff to it, and I'd picked it up a couple of months ago when it came out, and I finally got to read it. This is the one where Wolverine comes back, and he has one of the, I can't remember which one, the blue.
It's the time.
I think it's space. The time. I can't remember. I could never keep them straight before they switched them up.
Yeah.
Before they switched them up in the movies and everything. But that and Black Panther takes Wakanda to outer space.
It was Mind Gem.
The Mind Gem, maybe. Yeah. The blue one.
Yeah.
Wolverine shows up alive, and there's just a lot going on in it. So it was pretty good. I didn't mention in X-Men Red there was a killer twist at the end with who the villain is going to be that I was really digging, that you would probably dig as well. I'm not going to spoil it here.
Godzilla.
It was Godzilla.
Oh, damn.
I didn't see it coming.
I was hoping it would be Mecha Godzilla, though.
They're actually in
issue 2.
Uncanny X-Force. Archangel, because Godzilla was in the Marvel comic universe for a while, and the the creator of Godzilla was in Uncanny X-Force because he's Marvel property, and Archangel killed Godzilla in one of the comic books.
Okay.
Like they couldn't name him, but it was this lizard that kept going after this creator. So funny little dumb tidbit.
Godzilla. He's going to come back.
Absolutely.
Maybe when he died, he went to hell and was demoted to devil dinosaur.
Oh no.
Okay, now we've got something.
Now we got an origin story.
Listen up, we got a story for you. I've got an artist right here.
We're gonna go all the way.
Me and Nathan, we're doing it all the way. We're taking Devil Dinosaur to the top.
Take him to Hollywood. We're writing a movie.
Yeah, screenplays.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after we got finished last week, there was the commercial on the Super Bowl about the Cloverfield paradox, and while I was waiting for our podcast to like mix down and everything, I went and watched that.
Yeah, I watched that too this week.
Did you?
Yeah, that's one of my nerd-ons too.
It was, I wouldn't say it's a great movie, but it is definitely fun. It is worth a watch for sure.
It's fun. I think they try to dip their toes into some like deeper sci-fi, but just kind of hold back a little bit.
It was kind of like Event Horizon Light for me.
Yeah.
So, but still like really fun. You know?
It was a lot of fun.
Well, like instead of it opening up to the hell dimension, it's just like people like stepping on cracks to break their mama's backs and stuff.
Stuff like that.
Welcome to Purgatory.
You ready for the worst Indian burn you've ever had?
You're going to just stand here for 300 years. And there's also a giant beast that's going to fall through that.
This line never ends.
But you get ice cream on Tuesdays.
And you're on Windows ME.
Oh, God.
There you go.
And there's no support.
No support.
No updates.
Altered Carbon, I started that as well this week. It feels to me just like Ghost in the Shell meets Blade Runner. I've only watched the first episode of it. I'll probably end up watching a little bit more of it tonight, but so far I'm digging it. It's definitely got like this mystery thing going on with it and all. So we'll see where that goes, but I know a lot of other people been watching it and digging it as well. So, we ended up playing Terraforming Mars last night. We had another game night.
Yeah.
So we decided we played Terraforming Mars twice. The last time was a long time ago. Then the actual last time was just a week or two ago.
Yeah,
Just last week.
Last week.
Yeah, it was last week.
It took us a while to get into the hang of it, so we played it again just to kind of tighten up the screws on it, and it was a lot of fun. I'm horrible at it. I've realized Terraforming Mars is the worst game for me because it's like an engine builder, and I want to build my engine to like perfection before I start doing the things I want to do. Mm-hmm. So I never get to do the things I want to do. So it is a just horrible game for me, but it's still a lot of fun because I'm sitting there, I'm like, well, they're buying up all this stuff. I'm going to try to do whatever this thing is that I'm going to do and see how I fare. Yeah. I always fare horribly, but it was still a good time.
A big huzzah to Mike for taking the day.
Yeah,
yeah. Mike beat ass.
Congrats.
On it. And then he won the game.
What was your strategy, Mike?
Hey, smoke weed.
That was not my game strategy. But it was mostly just Jovian cards.
Jovian cards, always Jovian cards.
It was focusing on ways to multiply my victory points and just really
diversifying.
Diversify my bonds, buddy. But that was my idea. Was just terraforming points as many as I could. So I put down as many cities as I needed to, built forest when I could. My plant and energy production wasn't that great, so I mostly just played through the good cards I got. I was fortunate enough, and the company I played allowed me to have a lot of money as well.
Yeah, I did.
To move a lot of stuff.
I played that one last time, so I had a ton of money.
Yeah, I think
I just didn't use it as well as you did.
Tharsis Republic is a way to go. I just the cards had good synergy. I think that one of the reasons was playing because we played with a bigger portion of the game because there's kind of like training wheels versions of the games you can play.
No, it was a lot more fun with the All the cards.
all the cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I felt like that gave us a lot of versatility to actually play a lot of different styles.
Mm-hmm.
And, because we were all really comfortable with the mechanics, which I think are really good. It sounds like a really boring game, just to be honest, like at first. But actually getting down and playing it, corporate greed's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And I actually, a couple of weeks ago, got the Venus is Next expansion. So next time we go with that, we might throw that in. It throws some extra cards and another board onto play. So
Venus is Next. That's the best they could have came
Venus
up with.
Next. Well, you've seen, like, the components of this game are shit. They're so bad, but the game's so fun. Because even, like, the photos and stuff they use on the card, the artwork is horrendous.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just use real pictures.
Yeah, of people sitting
Of
at a
stock
computer.
photos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's horrible, but the game is so good, it makes up for all that. Because even, like, I had to buy these extra trays so our little cubes wouldn't go everywhere and everything.
Oh.
And those are lifesavers. Because,
Yes,
we
they are.
would never be able to play that
They
game
don't taste
without.
good, though.
All right, and also, God, back in November, I had printed up some specialty cards. This is real nerdy, guys. Specialty cards to separate all my Marvel Legacy cards, and I'd been cutting them out by hand since November. Like, just when I get a time, I'm watching a show or whatever, just cut them out. Went upstairs to clean out the motherfucking upstairs because we're gonna move the studio here soon. And Allison has a goddamn paper cutter.
So I offered you one 3
you?
months ago.
I don't
Yes.
even remember that.
I said, Ray, I have a paper
because
cutter.
Allison
Well,
was like, I'm going to cut these out for you. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, if you're going to cut them out, fine. Do you want a paper cutter?
Don't get the paper
No,
cutter out.
she didn't want one. She didn't want one. So,
that's going to make your work a little too easy
yeah.
there, babe.
and she's been like cutting them out along and along, but I found that and I'm like, shit, I'm going to try this. So I was able to cut all of them out yesterday and organize all my cards. I'm missing like 3 or 4, so I don't know where those went off to because they've been half cut out and laying in the studio and
Black
falling
Cats
over.
stole them.
Yeah, possibly. So
My collection got 4 cards more complete. Totally unrelated.
and then I've been working a lot on Ends for Nerd because I have to get that out before Wednesday. So I've been doing a lot of editing for that for the Black Panther episode and all. And I'm
Awesome.
pretty sure tomorrow is going to be Ends for Nerd Day, and I'm gonna get that shit done because I promised myself that I'm not gonna start working on Kingdom Death until I get that done. So I want to get that done. So I
Way
can
to
get the
make
Kingdom
yourself
Death.
procrastinate.
Everything.
Yeah.
Indirectly procrastinate.
Yeah, that's it for me, Michael.
Okay, Raymond.
Will you tell me about your week?
It's pretty slim on deets. I wasn't going to go into Terraforming Mars, but we kind of covered that, and that's all fair.
It's because Nathan always comes to me first.
Well, it's just how the cookie
What she
crumbles, to borrow from our good friend Bruce Almighty. So,
God damn it!
it's
I thought
good.
we made it through 205 episodes without a Bruce Almighty reference.
Can you say that with 100% confidence? We have not
'Cause
made a Bruce Almighty
Yeah,
reference.
I, for some reason, think we have
I think it's come around
I think
before.
we've made most references. In fact, it's probably getting a little old. We need to watch new things so we can reference that. Get some SpongeBob in here or something. I got a new PS4 controller, and oh man, yeah, it works great.
Good.
It was definitely the old one.
Oh man! So you played half a game with a fucked up controller and
Well,
still beat it. Well, good
yeah,
job.
I beat it. It was because I could have sworn the game was. I just assumed it was bugging,
I'm
but
just imagining Mike's assassin just kind of scooting along,
Yeah.
half sight,
It's,
half crab walking over to the guy.
Stab.
Mike's just like,
That guy
whoa,
doesn't look suspicious at all.
this dude moves so slow.
yeah. Well, my favorite thing was when it decided to press a different direction. As I was climbing up something, so I
Wow.
fucking just sail off into the goddamn, just the middle of nowhere and just smash myself dead. I'm like, great. This game's bugging so hard. But I definitely knew with Wolfenstein afterwards, because that's another part of my nerd on, is I started playing Wolfenstein 2, the
Nice.
New Colossus, and it is one of the most bizarre games I've ever played. And I mean, most of them are pretty strange, but Oh wow! I accidentally hit dictation, and my phone copied what I said. That's pretty cool. Well, that's what it does. So it worked.
Phone's not
Good
bugging
job,
out
phone.
either.
But at the beginning of the game, you're in a wheelchair. So you kind of have to roll, and it's just odd mechanics. So with the game, my joystick not working very well. It very difficult. A lot of back rolling and side rolling. Very, very shitty. So I'm like, I'm going to go and turn this off and definitely get a controller the next day. So the idea of Wolfenstein to catch everybody up, it's 1961. The Nazis won World War II by
Default.
by basically winning the nuclear arms race and nuking New York City. So America gave up, and pretty much Germans won. So all of America is occupied by Germany now, and it's police state, all the great stuff that you would think, but it's also got a really dark, obviously a very dark sense of humor as well, and I think the creators have definitely also kind of tongue-in-cheek made a political statement about Nazis and alt-right and stuff of today as well in some of those issues. So it's a little heavy-handed at times, for a game that started out you fighting Hitler's head in a jar hooked to a robot with miniguns. Which I guess me describing the game as bizarre is it's kind of dumb because it's kind of what I come to expect. But so just to kind of give you a little bit more story, at the end of the last game, you end up detonating a nuke and getting like serious radiation sickness and cancer. So your body's just destroyed, and you're able. So there's an ancient secret Jewish organization that creates high grade like alien level technology. And so they put him in this Jewish super armor for the first like chunk of the game, and you just basically kick ass, and you eventually get taken out of it. The Nazis capture you, and they fucking execute you in the middle of Washington Square with all like it's all Third Reich'd out. Your head fucking falls because they cut your fucking head off with a sword. Your head fucking falls into this fire. What you don't see is your homies had a robot that grabbed your head, took it into the sewers they were hiding. They pumped it full of oxygen, Futurama'd it, and then hooked you to a new body. It's just fucking crazy. It's so crazy. And this is prefaced, of course, because
This sounds amazing, actually.
the Jewish super doctor genius who is on the giant U-boat they stole, his cat was dying for some of the reason, so he cut its head off and hooked it to a monkey, so there's a cat monkey running around. And that's the technology he used to fucking base, your head transplant off as this damn cat monkey. The game is just fucking crazy. It's so crazy.
So are you saying Futurama is like an extension of the future of Wolfenstein? That
actually would make a lot of sense, especially with all like the millennial like world wars, like every 800 years or whatever that's going on in Futurama. It's like New York gets fucked up, gets built up, fuck it up, and then, so it's I recommend playing it. The gun mechanics are fun. The game is challenging, but the mechanics are good. Like I said, the story's a little heavy-handed for my taste. I like to keep my political statements on my game separate, but that's my opinion. But what they do with it is really entertaining. So, fucking 9.5 jalapenos from Mike as well.
Nice.
It's on Swamp Thang level. Ray, did you want me to do the
Put it down, nerd news.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's really about it. I would love to play more Assassin's Creed, but I can't until I get the internet and can download my season pass.
Gotcha.
Yep. But so, yep. Alrighty, TJ, it's your go, buddy.
Well, like we
Also
talked
nice
about
to skip
earlier,
Chuck.
I watched Cloverfield Paradox, and we already talked about that. And I've been working on my customs a little bit. I've got a few more parts in, and
Real dolls coming together.
no,
Yeah.
It's not. You need to focus on that.
As much as you've been working on it,
no
Jesus.
1-1 scale.
You
no
gotta-
1-1 scale.
you got to stop
I'm not going
testing
there.
it before you finish it.
But I did some of the parts I picked up.
It took a second for me.
Some of the parts I picked up was a 1/6 Kevin Spacey head.
I bet those are cheap.
It was $7
Yeah.
shipped from China.
Get this the fuck out of here.
So I've got him in like a creepy rain jacket, and I think I'm gonna pose him with Harry and Ron. Like,
Oh, gosh.
off there. So
You should just put him in an orange jumpsuit and have a box.
That actually would be a very
what's
cool
in the
cover.
box?
it's not bald though. If
But
it was
like,
bald, it would be awesome.
Just
But
shave
like-
it bald.
I've got an X-Acto knife.
Paint the hair skin color. And then you could have a lot of fun with
Get
the
like-
what's in the
Yeah.
box.
Buy a condom
Kevin
and put it
Spacey.
over his head, cut it off, and make your own little ball cap.
You could just use one of those Fison dick.
You're bad at this customizing stuff, TJ. We've already customized it 8 different ways.
Yeah, especially
No,
with the
you've given me ideas.
and you could take the 7 thing with the box, and then you could throw in his legal troubles, and also throw in some Lonely Island and make a dick in the box with the Fison wieners. So what's in the box? And then Ron and Harry can be fucking looking in on that, and that's your diorama right there, buddy.
There you go. Okay.
Sorry, created it.
Yeah,
You said
and
diorama
also,
very Dan Aykroyd.
diorama.
That's your diorama right there. You got it right there.
Because it's the American customer, because that's who I am, and that's who I care about.
also picked up a Commissioner Gordon, a Hot Toys Commissioner Gordon for like $40.
How heavy was it?
Not very heavy. Didn't have any hands or feet, but it did have the.
What
have the
about its
clothes and the head
existential implications? Was that heavy?
No, it was pretty light, man. Pretty
Okay,
light.
Ray, why don't you generate some quality content over here? Can Susie
Nate,
size
that's
a
all
lot?
I've
It's a
got.
podcast; they can hear that. Sorry, go on.
I said, Nate, that's all I've got.
All
I
right.
didn't say repeat it. I said go on. Make some shit up.
All right, guys. So I
Huge failure.
watched a lot of stand-up this week, weirdly, and I didn't even set out to do it. It just kind of happened. I watched the new Reggie Watts stand-up. Did anybody know who Reggie Watts is?
This is
Love
the
Reggie
football
Watts.
player that passed away.
Yeah.
He's
He-
a very talented musician.
Very talented. I didn't know this about a stand-up, but it's 100% improvised. He doesn't go out there with pre-written jokes. He does music on one side. He makes up songs like beatboxes, build loops, and just sings ridiculous songs. But then also most of his banter with the audience is also improvised. But he's really good at it. As well as I put it on for kind of background. And most of these is exactly what happened. I ended up getting sucked in and watching it. I would suggest it if you like stuff that's a little weird, because it definitely was on the weird side. But really good bit about grits. If you like grit jokes, he's got some good grit jokes.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'll be tuning in.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
there. I'm there for that.
I also watched a Futile and Stupid Jester. The story is of Doug Kennedy, who co-founded the National Lampoon, and he wrote
Okay.
Animal House and Caddyshack. That was another movie I turned on, and I figured I was working on our new picture that I've been working on, and I ended up just putting it down, watching the movie. It turned out to be an extremely good movie. Reminded me a lot of Private Parts, just the whole feel of it.
Okay.
That level of comedy by also telling someone's story. Actually, I can't really suggest it enough. It's really good.
I've been
And
kind of on the fence on it, if I wanted to start it or not.
you
so.
won't regret it. It's pretty damn interesting, especially just kind of seeing like the National Lampoon, the comic, or how it went from being a magazine at Harvard to being a magazine to a radio show to him making those movies.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. And also, I didn't know his story, so it was very interesting, especially the ending. I'm probably gonna mess this guy's last name up. Fred Amerson, the guy.
Armistead?
Amerson, is that?
Yeah, we were just watching that before y'all got here.
Stand Up for Drummers.
For drummers, yeah.
That is the most on the nose stand up for musicians I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I was watching this. I was like, this is half the people that watch this will not get.
No.
Yeah, I was watching it with Ray, and I was like, "Is this
right?
Like, does this sound about right?" And he's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's dead on.
I found it more interesting than funny.
Yeah, there were some parts that were not funny
No,
at all.
most of it wasn't funny. I don't really think he's a funny guy.
I thought
And from everything I read about him, he's actually a piece of shit in real life.
maybe.
So I really don't care for him too much. But his the telling of the drums, where he goes through the years.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. That and the accents.
The accents was actually really
Accents
good.
was incredible.
I had to hand it to him. Like, he went across North America and
Most of it, yeah.
and did a damn good job of doing the accents as he just
Didn't
went
have
through.
Florida.
He did Florida.
It wasn't Florida. It wasn't Florida.
He talks about how they. I think he just. Well, he went to.
He nailed Georgia.
He hit Florida. Like he I guess he tried to do. I don't know. Maybe more.
He did.
Mid-
He did Miami.
And then he did
Miami,
really good.
of course.
But like I said, Stand Up for Drummers was very just an interesting one. I don't think I laughed that much, but there was some really cool stuff. A lot of stuff that made me think of being in bands and the jokes he made live out. So it was interesting because I didn't know he was that much of a musician.
I didn't realize how much this podcast was like a band until I was watching that. And Ray's like, "Yeah, that's accurate."
Yeah, the one about most of band practices discussing when you're going to get there.
Yeah, exactly.
What time we're going to be there, and then making fun of other bands. And,
Exactly.
But really good guys. Really good guys. They suck. They were bad.
Yeah,
Super
they're
nice
great
guys.
Super nice guys.
Super
but
nice
they
guys.
suck. And then I today, while I put together furniture, I watched the new Dave Chappelle Equanimity. I think whatever it was actually really good. I like Dave Chappelle. I know. I guess most people like. I don't know anybody that really hates him. Maybe Ray.
Probably
Ray
Ray.
doesn't seem like a
I like
Dave Chappelle guy. But his stand up is pretty interesting because he kind of goes back to the ones that came out on Netflix, I guess, earlier this year, and the heat he got for it because he said a lot of I wouldn't say controversial, taboo stuff like some of the, and he addresses it, but he did it in such a good way, and it was still fucking funny. Like so, I'd highly suggest it. Was
sort of just Dave Chappelle.
exactly. I like Dave Chappelle. I like his outlook on life. He's very honest. He's not worried about getting in trouble with people in the sense of motherfucker's going to say what motherfucker
Doesn't worry about snowflakes.
pretty much.
Oh,
and
God.
then
Can't say that with a straight face.
and then the other thing, I haven't got a chance to get really into it, but I'm trying out Xbox's Game Pass, similar to PlayStation. It's only $10 a month on Xbox though, and because isn't the PlayStation one like 20 or 30?
It's 20 or 45 for 3 months.
Yeah. But the main reason I'm doing it is it has all the Fable games, and Christy, my wife, is a huge Fable fan, and so am I actually. So we're going to replay those. But I was checking out.
I've always been interested in those games because they seem like right up my alley, but they're on Xbox.
Fable was a blast. It's actually one of the only Xbox titles that I've ever cared about. Like
You'd probably also like, since you like Fallout, Ray, you'd probably like Knights of the Old Republic as well.
Oh yeah,
The Star Wars one.
Yeah.
So we're going to play because it has all three of those, and then there's a bunch of other different games. Mostly a lot of 360 titles.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of a snob. I hate looking at old graphics sometimes. I'm like, I like graphics that are out now. I want beautiful graphics, not the old. Even though I'm like, I remember 360 wasn't that long ago. I used to be like, 360 looks great, PS3.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, look at this shit. This looks terrible. It's pixelated.
What are
It's
you trying to give
amazing,
me?
like the leap. If you just give it a little while at the beginning of one generation and the beginning of the next one, it's insane how much different it can be.
It truly is. I was like, holy shit, man. The only thing that's weird with, and maybe they've done this now, because I did try the PS4 a long time. Actually, I might have been on PS3. Are you streaming it, or do you download the game to your console?
It's streaming.
See, the Xbox, you have to download it.
I think it works on a different kind of architecture too.
Yeah, I was
on the
I was
Xbox
surprised.
one.
I was surprised when I did that because
Yeah.
I hit it and all of a sudden it's like, all right, I got to wait for 6 gigs to download. I was like, I guess maybe that'll be okay, but
It's how the system works.
yeah. So, but well, that's it from my nerd on. So let's move on to the news.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Please allow me to introduce you to the newsman of the evening, Jimmy Ray Hancock. Come on now. He's with the news. You're gonna read the news now. Jimmy Ray, he's with the news. Hey Ray, what type of news you got tonight? Well, I hope it's good. This is Ray with the news. Here we go. Ray's with the news chat. Ray's reading the news chat. Ray's reading the news chat. Ray's reading the news chat.
So this week we've got, number one, there's a lot of news, but the first thing we're going to start off with is not science fiction. This is science fact. Elon Musk and SpaceX launched the Heavy Falcon this week, which was pretty amazing. I'm gonna throw it over to Mike, and he's going to explain a little bit more about this because of science.
Science!
Well, actually,
Science.
it's called the.
Buffalo Soldier.
Why do you keep saying that?
I don't know either.
Keep singing it like no one's
He's been
made a
listening
South
to-
Park giant nut reference
He's been
the whole night.
listening to a lot of Bob Marley, I think.
I just when Mike talks, it makes me think of Buffalo Soldier.
Oh gosh,
Okay.
it's the worst podcast we've ever done, just because of that.
No, there's some others that are way worse.
I think there was one with me, just me and Chuck, or me and Blaze. So I mean, there is that.
So on February 6, 2018, Elon Musk's company, SpaceX, successfully launched the Falcon Heavy rocket into space, into outer space. The focus of this was to be able to get a payload into space as cheaply as possible.
Mm-hmm.
His goal was about, I think it was, I'll have to look in my notes, but we'll get to that. So I'll kind of start out and just kind of describe the rocket, but oh, sorry, the cord's a little loose here. So the Falcon Heavy is essentially 3 of the Falcon 9 rockets that SpaceX already launched. They have 9 Merlin 1D engines, and so that pretty much makes for, if there's 3 of them, 27 Merlin engines. And let me see here.
Does that equate to something that a power or something?
Well, that's what
Bunch.
I get that. I mean, it
generates 5 million pounds of thrust, making it twice as powerful as any other booster operating today.
hell of a lover.
Yeah, so it's a lot. The actual top of the rocket also is a modified Falcon 9, and then of course has the payload section.
The Falcon 9's the ones that he's been launching bunches of for a while.
Yeah, because they already started out with just the regular rockets, and they went to the Falcon 9s, which used the 9 Merlin engines, and then they eventually went up. There's like 3 different versions of those, and then of course the Falcon Heavy, which was successfully launched. Now, of course, one of the most interesting things about it is normally when they test rocket payloads, they'll use like masses of steel or concrete, but instead, Elon Musk, who also owns Tesla Motors, decided to put his original first issue 2008 Tesla Roadster as the payload, with a dummy in it called Starman dressed in an astronaut outfit,
Which is pretty fucking cool.
With his interface screen on the front saying "Don't panic," and then playing Space Oddity by David Bowie on repeat. And it essentially is going to be doing a billion-year elliptical orbit around Mars forever.
Nice.
Never rust.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Let me see. What are some other things? I have notes here.
Do you think because it wasn't red as a red Tesla? Do you think out in
cherry
space will that paint fade with the sun, or do you think with the metal that'll still?
It'll probably fade with the because there's pretty much
UV rays and all that.
unfiltered
UV
radiation. So chances are it won't
I'd be shocked if it doesn't get just tore to hell up by like space dust and shit.
Well, who knows? Yeah,
orbiting planet like that. But
yeah. Well, it was red specifically because of Mars, because the whole this is one of the first steps, which is Musk wants SpaceX to have a 500,000 person colony on Mars in 50 years, is their goal.
Cool.
Aims to establish a million-person city on the Red Planet in the next half century or so. And they're going to try to do that with a newer generation of Falcon Heavy. But to give you some numbers, the maximum payload is 140,700 pounds compared to 50,300 pounds of a regular Falcon 9 rocket. So that's almost 3 times the amount of carrying capacity.
And it cost around, I believe I was reading, around $69 million to launch the Falcon 9. It only cost about $90 million to launch the Heavy Falcon.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the actual price is, but it is significantly less than
I actually have
anything
I have some
NASA.
numbers.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to give you an idea, that's pretty much the highest payload capacity of any rocket in production today. The only one I think that was more was the Saturn V rocket or Saturn V, the ones that for the moon missions, and that payload is around 310,000 pounds, so about half.
Yeah.
So let me see what other things because there's a lot of
The
notes
biggest
here.
reason the cost is less, though, Ray, is because they can reuse the boosters.
Yeah, that was one of the interesting things about it. Because if you watch the videos, you get to see, and it was within I think about 8 minutes of it launching.
Yeah.
Within a few seconds, they would hear the sonic boom, and then within 8 minutes, they heard the second one of the 2 boosters coming back into atmosphere. And it's almost eerie, the video of them landing at the exact same time on 2 separate platforms, right beside each other. It's crazy.
I mean, it'd be eerie if it wasn't fake and all CGI.
What now?
There's flat, guys. Come on, man. You guys are buying into this media. I'm very embarrassed right now.
Don't walk out on
These
us.
are real comments I was reading too, just so you know how sad it is.
There's a huge flat Earth backlash on this. Whole thing was a hoax, apparently.
Didn't happen.
Another one.
Yeah. So
Gotcha, bitch.
So in 2011, and I'm pretty sure they got close to this. They were talking about what was it? $1,000 per pound. And they would have to do 4 launches a year in order to make that profitable.
Oh wow!
So pretty much anything you want in space, you pay $1,000 per pound, roughly. You'll be able to launch whatever the fuck you want into space.
We can get $1,000 up. Put a pound of something up there.
Fine, to get rid of Chuck.
Oh, how many? That's probably
Jesus.
It's a
We
little-
can't
a little
pay that.
pricey.
pricey.
Yeah, we'll put pieces of Chuck up there.
I was thinking a packet of hot dogs or something.
Yeah.
Now the cool thing is
That'd be
there's
half a pound, so that's $500.
Oh, there you go.
they're already using. I know they're using Kennedy Space Center to launch. I believe they also launch from California as well, and then SpaceX is building or has built in Texas a third private launch facility with which they'll use. So they'll be able. I think they want something like 10 launches a year or something like that.
Oh, wow.
And they already have 3 launches planned for out the rest of the year, and I believe the beginning of next year for putting up. I think it was. An Air Force, Arab Communications, and something else satellite. 3 different satellites.
Yeah.
So they're already putting them to use.
Nice.
And
Very nice.
the only thing that really went wrong with the whole thing, this was a test run for this whole thing, is the last booster part, whatever, the last part, not the 2 that landed, was supposed to land in the Atlantic on a platform that they had built, and it ended up crashing into the ocean, but still came back to Earth. And they'll still be able to reuse it, I believe. So
It was very close to hitting the platform, too.
I'm sure it was.
Just off.
So that's just, to me, mind-bogglingly amazing that the science can be that close for this stuff. That's out of control.
I don't know why. I just imagine some guy floating on the water, all right, here it comes. Oh shit. Oh shit!
He's in his kayak. He's got his
the water. He got
binoculars out.
To the left, to the left, to the left.
And got to jump in, swim out, and doggy paddle it back.
Throws a rope around it.
Don't worry, I got it.
He's out there directing the rocket like he's back in a trailer or boat in, Come on back, come on back, come on back. Come on back.
Don't worry, Mr. Elon, I'm gonna get it.
I'll push it on that platform, honest.
Just give old Phil a chance.
All right, so moving on to things that are more
Matter.
fake. Yeah, to things that matter. Legion, we're getting a season 2 in April 3rd from FX. That was my favorite comic show last year, probably. It was incredible. So April 3rd is when that kicks off, which will be great. So we've talked about the Joker movie, the standalone Joker movie. Todd Phillips, who directed The Hangover, Due Date, and Old School, is going to be working on that.
Okay.
And they're looking at Joaquin Phoenix to play the Joker. What are y'all's thoughts on that?
Sure.
Yeah, when I
Why
heard
not?
it, I was like, if you're going to get someone to do this, which still doesn't really make a lot of sense.
No, yeah.
I like Joaquin Phoenix. I think he's a good actor. I think he has the right, presence on screen of being that crazy, but still being grounded. I don't think he would ham it up or go.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, like watching like him.
Well, I feel like he's a little crazy already.
Well, yeah, like watching The Master, and then there's that documentary, the fake documentary about him starting to become a hip hop artist.
Oh, yeah.
He's completely insane.
I'm
in that
Still
movie.
Here. Or
I'm
whatever.
Still Here. Him and I believe Casey Affleck's the one that
Someone
directed
like
it.
that, yeah.
And I watched that movie, and it's truly insane just how crazy he was in that. And I was like, so I could see it. It'd definitely be a much older Joker.
It reminds me It reminds me of the Heath Ledger casting when they announced that. I mean, this is they're looking at him. This isn't a definite, but it has the same kind of feel to me.
Yeah, out of all the people, I definitely like his idea of him being a Joker better than like when we got Jared Leto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I minded Leto as much as I minded the design that they put out for him.
Leto's still going to
definitely.
be. Yeah, the design was bad. Leto might be fine. We don't know. We didn't get enough of him to even know what the fuck he is. But that's still a Joker, because they're doing more of these like standalone films.
So weird.
So there'll be 2 Jokers at one time.
That's fine. I look at it like different comic artists working on different books. So that's.
I think it might end up being confusing to
Exactly.
the normal moviegoer.
Yeah, absolutely.
But maybe not. I don't know. We'll see.
My problem is having a movie dedicated to the Joker or to. I mean, we'll talk about it later, but Venom.
Yeah.
The reason the Joker's like a small doses guy, I guess. I don't know. He shows up and causes a bunch of chaos and shit, and then goes away for a while. And I don't know how putting a whole focus on him would be.
There are certain characters,
It's like
and
a deadbeat dad to me.
I think Wolverine is one of these.
Yeah.
The more you peel back the layers, the less interesting the character becomes, and Joker's one of those.
And if they're doing a movie, they're gonna feel the need to define
where
him,
he's from.
give his origin, build him up, and I definitely don't want a Joker movie where he's some type of anti-hero.
No.
Where that doesn't make sense unless they're going to go on a full, almost horror movie aspect where he's the villain of the movie and you kind of just see it from his perspective. But I don't think they would do that.
That's 2 out there. It feels like.
Yeah.
There is a current. I think it's current comic, and it might be the one that's called White Knight. I might be 100% off because I have not read this. It's an Elseworld story where the Joker is actually more of a philanthropist and like a good guy. He's been reformed and everything. So that's interesting for a comic, but that's not a movie that anyone wants to see.
Yeah.
So we'll see what comes of this. And I mean, when it comes out, how many of us are not going to go see it? I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
So Amazon, we talked about a couple of weeks ago, they're developing Lord of the Rings show. Well, and they're apparently going hard with the fantasy because they're also developing, this one's for you, Kale, if you're listening, Conan the Barbarian, a series of Conan the Barbarian.
That'd be cool.
Which, it sounds like it'll be pretty cool.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten anything real Conan in a while.
No.
So, and Amazon stuff, they seem to be stepping their game up a little bit, so... What are y'all's thoughts on this, y'all?
I need to watch the new show they just came out with. That's based off of, was it Philip K. Dick's The Electric Dream? Is like, and
I think that's an anthology series.
It's an anthology. But I mean, like as far as quality, to see how where they're going with it, because they definitely went out on the talent, the actors they have, and they have a lot of really good actors. doing it. So I'm curious to kind of see how they've been moving it up to go something like Lord of the Rings, and then also to go something like Conan.
Yeah, those are two pretty,
Conan, not Conan.
big name properties for fantasy. So
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm more curious, and I am excited to see. Like, I want to know how far who's going to play Conan. You know,
Yeah, yeah. Who are we going to get? It's probably going to be
Jason Momoa.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson as Conan.
Hosting his own late
Hosting
night
his own late night show.
they
Yeah.
definitely can.
Oh.
Did you guys see how much The Rock is getting paid for his next movie? $20 million.
Jesus.
Which
For
movie is that?
Skyscraper?
No, there's another movie. He just signed on to do it. I just
Good God.
glanced on the article, but apparently it's his biggest payday yet. He signed for another blockbuster, and it was a $20 million payday for this.
What's his normal? Like, what does he
I
normally
mean, he's
make?
up
Do you
there,
know?
but I mean,
Yeah.
he's continually moving up.
Moving up.
I mean, that dude is becoming
I mean, as dumb and whatever as they are, he's fun to watch. So even the worst movie he's in, he's at least fun to watch.
He's probably one of the only bankable names right now in Hollywood where if you put The Rock on something, people
He's
are going to
gonna
go,
make money.
I'm going to have fun. I'm going to go see
Yeah.
that. You know?
Is Kevin Hart going to be in it with him, though? That's the
If
question.
he's on there, you know it's going to do well because people love those two.
Mm-hmm.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, like that. People love Kevin Hart and The Rock together.
Yeah.
So this next piece I've got a little bit of a tangled mess to unwrap for you to try to figure out what exactly is going on. So we talked about some Game of Thrones people doing some stuff last week. We know that Rian Johnson is doing a new Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah.
We don't really know what that's going to be. Is that going to be 10, 11, and 12? We don't know.
Yeah.
Is it going to be?
They said it was the
Is it
next
going to
number.
be? Is it going to be?
ones.
It's going to be a different story though.
Yeah.
This isn't going to be the Skywalker saga.
No.
So we also have these anthology films that are coming out. We haven't had any more announced. There's like another one, but it's not like what it is.
We'll probably hear about that in May.
Maybe.
Jabba the
Maybe
Hutt.
the creator. The
You heard
creators
it here
of
first.
yeah, that's the one with the creators of Game of Thrones, Benioff and Weiss, are actually in charge of another set of Star Wars films that are going to be coming out.
They're going to be hard R's.
Yeah, where everyone dies. So we don't really know what those are going to be. They're not going to be the Skywalker saga. It's not going to have to do with that.
Yeah.
So I don't think it'll have to do with the Rian
No, the Rian
Johnson stuff.
No.
So, and then we don't know how far they're going to play out these anthology ones.
I
But-
hope they're doing requests because I would love to see those guys take a handle on the Jedi Sith Wars back like 1,000
yeah.
years before. I would love to see that take.
Well, we might get that because, goddamn, they're just hiring everyone off the street they can to make some Star
I'd
Wars
say
movies.
let's do some KOTOR movies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I mean. The Old Republic, the old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm
You
with
got
you.
the money.
Yeah.
Why not get the best talent, you know?
Yeah,
Get the
might
best
as well.
writers.
Yeah, because I mean that is a franchise that is rich
Mm-hmm.
with
Oh, yeah.
things. So
And-
and it's Disney. They
and-
got this. They got the cash, man.
And
So
Game of Thrones is, done.
the biggest there is. You know,
That's what, yeah. So
And it's over, yeah.
And it's over. So these guys
they need something.
they have nothing but time and to take an awesome property like Star Wars and make it their own.
Make it something. Because there's so
No.
many other stories you can be telling. You don't just have to have the Jedis and Sith.
Yeah.
Because we saw that with Rogue One. We didn't have any of that.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of stuff that can still be done in this. It opens up a shitload of opportunities.
They could really develop like some characters like Jabba the Hutt and really just
And his Rancor.
Rancor.
The Rancor pit handler.
I
Can
really
they-
that's what I want to see. It's just
The Gamorrean guards.
I guess it brings to mind another question, though. Can
opening a canteen.
How did that get
you
open?
have, like, would it be too much? Because that's going to be, you're going to at least get 2 Star Wars movies a year on some point.
Yeah, and I think you have to diversify because we're getting 3 Marvel ones a year right now.
Yeah. But
So
they're all different
They
types
are-
of movies.
That's what I'm saying. We're not getting 3 Avengers movies. We're not getting 3 Iron Man movies. Oh, well, we kind of are. You know, you're not getting 3 Thor movies.
No.
So I think Disney's not dumb. And I
No.
think they'll know to diversify their stuff before they burn it out. And I don't know if they can will burn it out anyway. it's kind of an exciting time if you're a Star Wars fan, hopefully. If you're not a shitty Star Wars fan and you actually like the stuff that comes out. So let's move on a little bit more.
I don't think that fan exists.
It's hard to find that fan sometimes. So Disney streaming, we've also talked about this, and apparently they've commented that it is coming in the fall of 2019. It's when it starts out, it's gonna be more family branded. There's gonna be no R-rated content.
Yep.
The current Netflix and Hulu shows will stay where they are, and they're going to start off with 5 original movies and shows the first year. The list of the movies that they're going to be doing, one's going to be a Don Quixote movie by the writer of the Hunger Games film, not the books. The other one's going to be a new version of Lady and the Tramp. We're not sure if it's going to be animated or live action.
I would guess live
remember,
action.
this is family oriented.
Yeah, I would guess live action.
Maybe.
Meatball's going to be.
Well, because they've been doing that a lot, and with animal CGI, I would for some reason think that wouldn't be an expense. They probably put some money into it anyway because they want people to go to that streaming service, and it's kind of par for course of what they've been doing with their rebranding it. So why not do it for streaming?
Yeah. There's a movie called Stargirl that is going to be by the director of Tuck Everlasting. That's probably based off of a young adult novel that came out in 2000. I'm not familiar with it, but that looks like one of the things they're going to. Here you go, guys. This is the one I'm throwing to you. A remake of 3 Men and a Baby.
Oh man!
So who are we casting in a remake of 3 Men and the Baby?
Gilbert Godfrey as the baby.
Oh my God! I just shit my pants.
I don't know.
Who are the 3 Men and a Baby actors
who
right
were
now?
the original 3?
Steve
Ted
Gutenberg.
Danson, Steve Gutenberg, and Tom Selleck.
Just dig them all up. Let's get those guys back into it. Ted Danson has just gotten better with age.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll do like 3 men.
I see what you're saying.
20-something
So
year
if I
old.
just was going with people that I think look so Ted Danson, the gentleman that plays Dennis on Always Sunny. I think he
Glenn Howard.
Okay.
I think he'd be a good
Chris Pratt would be a good stand-in for Gutenberg.
And Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Kevin Hart, The Rock, Jack Black.
There you go.
Blockbuster written all over it.
Oh Jesus,
guys! I think I've
Jack
found my
Black's the
calling.
baby.
check written, money in the bank.
Funny enough, y'all kept saying Kevin Hart, and for some reason, my mind kept going to Paul Blart.
Kevin James.
Kevin James.
Oh, God.
So in my mind, I'm like, shit, I don't know about this Rock Kevin James movie I'm missing out on.
It could be Kevin James, Adam Sandler, and Rob Schneider.
You can do it.
Yeah, you can do it. Jesus, David. Why would they? I don't know.
That is not a movie that's probably aged well. I haven't watched it and will not watch it again. But that's one you can dig up for something like this.
Oh man, we gotta take care of a
the
baby.
last movie that they announced,
Jabba the Hutt's going to be taking care of the baby.
There we go.
Jabba the Hutt, played by Adam Sandler.
Wow. And then the last movie is going to be a Sword in the Stone live action film. That's why the Lady and the Tramp one, they're like, I don't know if it'll be action or live action or animated. The shows that they're looking at doing, the first 5, High School Musical, a Monsters Inc. show, an unannounced Marvel show, and multiple Star Wars titles. More Star Wars stuff.
Animated or
that OC,
live
man.
I don't know. I would really like to see a live action about like the other. Of course, I would. This is so me. The other bounty hunters like Dengar and all IG.
Like they all live in a house.
Yeah, like real world bounty hunters.
Like, oh my God, guys!
Real world Tatooine.
I just had to do the worst bounty. We should do a challenge real quick. Yeah.
Where the fuck is my Mandalorian armor? I put it in the laundry room.
Guys,
did you shit in my helmet?
Jabba the Hutt's the host.
Jabba's getting a lot of work from us these days.
Where's Indiana Jones at?
I don't know.
I'm just kind of pissed that
They're just
Disney's
waiting. They're waiting for old Harrison to kick the bucket finally before they do something with that again.
Yeah.
Just don't even say those words.
All right, so that's what we're looking at.
Ray,
for the
why are you yelling into the guy? All right.
I've got a compressor.
He's trying to.
All right, guys, that's. Sorry. So we've got through all that. That's what we're going to be doing with Disney.
Compress your vocal cord.
Compress your asshole.
I do that all the time.
We're gonna. We got a lot of trailers this
around my
week,
dick.
and the first one we're going to talk. Yeah, trailer park. Brum, 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 brum. I don't know what that was. Like a
That's
trailer
me starting
park.
up
The large truck
yeah.
pulling up to a trailer.
To the trailer park.
So one of the first ones we're going to talk about is the,
Y'all
Venom,
come back now, you hear?
the Venom teaser.
Yeah, let's start off with a low point.
Yeah, we're going to
Start out with the best, guys. You guys are just that looks so good. I mean, that scene where you see Tom Hardy walking somewhere, and then it cuts to another scene
So-
of
Where
him
he's laying on the
walking
bed.
somewhere.
Yeah, this trailer is essentially Tom Hardy walking into a bodega, Tom Hardy lying down, Tom Hardy yelling, and a traffic accident. That's it.
You also have Tom Hardy shaking his head and sped up.
Yeah.
It looks good.
Yeah.
It
I'm
looks.
surprised there was no like Wilhelm screams or anything else. Pretty standard on one of those.
I'm surprised about how much hate this is getting because I mean, it really lays out the plot. You know what's going on right away. You see it and you go, "This is that Venom movie I've been hearing about." I can obviously
by the jacket he's
by-
wearing.
The weirdest thing though was like that like Dyson vacuum cleaner ad they had in the middle and it had like all the black animated dirt in it, you know, and they were like, "Oh, look at that," you know,
It picks up
I don't
99% of the dirt on your floor
of symbiotes.
Yeah.
with this
Man.
symbiote engine.
This doesn't do any this is the complete opposite of what you should do with a teaser. This doesn't tease anything. Anyone that doesn't know about Venom doesn't know about Venom from this, and anyone that does know about Venom and is excited is pissed about
They
it.
just edited it a little too long. It should be like that final 5 seconds where it's just like Venom's face forming out of the like white and black, and that's all you need.
Or
It would have got more hype.
Yeah, I think so.
That's all you needed.
Yeah.
Something
It would
dumb
have been
and
a
small
lot
like
better
that.
than that other crap
I
that
think
we got.
actually Ray might have said, but they released the poster,
Which was good.
which looked good.
The poster looked great.
And it's like, okay, I'm down for it. We're gonna get a teaser. Awesome. What the fuck was that?
Yeah, it really was. God, I just don't know.
Fuck was that?
Yeah. Oh, is that the new Mission Impossible? Like, I didn't know
have no
Tom
clue.
Hardy
if
was
they
in
didn't
it.
put the last part in, with the sort of the Venom face sort of forming out of smoke. What the fuck
Yeah.
is that anyway? You would have never had any clue.
This really looks like to me.
I wonder. Go ahead.
It looks like a
Looks
bunch.
like someone's getting fired.
It looks like a bunch of footage from a different movie that failed,
Like
and they're shoehorning it into a Venom movie.
That's exactly what it looks like.
It very well could be.
I was about to say it definitely could be that.
That's what
Especially
it is.
considering when did they announce it?
Mission
Like
Impossible.
officially
Venom.
announced it was
Not
like
long
last
ago.
October,
Yeah,
and then it's coming out this coming
Something
October.
got a Venom.
Because they shot it pretty fast.
Yeah,
Like, it was like, oh, we're doing a Venom movie. And,
League of Their
actually,
Venom.
we're done.
I think
Yeah.
they were really kind of.
I
It
feel
started
like 2
ramping
months
up.
ago we heard they were starting filming.
Yeah, they started really ramping up the talk about it after Homecoming was out and everybody
Yeah.
loved it. And then they kind of greenlit it somewhere in the fall. So
I mean,
this is
judging by the footage we're seeing, I don't think it would take that long to film Tom Hardy walking around doing errands and as stuff
just take his
explodes
wallet.
around him. Like, the whole movie is he wakes up from the doctor and he's like, "Oh, I got a Venom, but I also got to run and pay my electric bill. And
I've got a hankering for some pork rinds.
I got these books I got to take to the library. There's a bunch of computers I'm gonna knock over. Shit's really crazy.
they just
Tom
followed
Hardy.
it.
Man, an alien symbiote, and a to-do list longer than you can believe.
No, they just followed him like in Bowfinger. They had trucks and everything just filming him. They had random people walk up to him and say their lines.
Tom,
He's like,
Tom Hardy didn't even know he was in the movie.
Like that scene with the crashing trucks. He just thought that was paparazzi. He's getting away from them.
Like at the end of the movie, someone just like fucking tar and feathers him. Like,
It's like, what the fuck? Where are these dentures?
and they're like, all right, and then that'll be the fucking scene. Venom. Like,
He is born. Origin story. That's our Venom movie. Okay, we'll never use him again. It'll go tits up.
man.
We'll never see a sequel. We're Sony.
Yeah. We're Sony. This is what we do.
Only thing we have that has sequels is gaming systems.
We also got a trailer for the new Jessica Jones season 2 on Netflix. Jessica Jones was my favorite Netflix show, followed very closely by Punisher, probably.
Mine was Stranger Things.
Well, my favorite Marvel one, but yeah, Stranger Things is pretty good.
Okay, you
I
didn't really
guess.
specify.
Yeah, sorry. Anyway, this trailer to me looks really, really good.
it looks good.
Like a double wide?
I hate the tagline that you put in the written text for it, though. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's just
what is it?
ridiculous. It says,
Welcome
now
to
it's even more
Jonestown.
personal or something like that.
This
Like,
time
okay, she
it's
was raped
even
and she was
more
mentally
personal.
controlled and manipulated by this other guy. But this time, it's more
that
personal
tells
than
you
that.
right there, TJ. This one's gonna be really fucking crazy.
You know,
I didn't see, like, that's not on the trailer anywhere or
No,
anything.
it's in the text.
Just in the text.
For the
Yeah.
description, I'm like, man, this is fucking
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I don't know. I don't know what you guys are so crazy about. I watched the whole fucking first season.
Mhm.
Not one artifact. not one archaeology class taught.
She did have a leather jacket,
not
though.
one bullwhip. This whole, Jones thing is not doing very good with it.
She's not really living up to the
Living up.
legacy.
She's
More
not
like
living the life. Huh?
Cleopatra Jones than Indiana Jones here.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad trailer. I will say that, but I'm not. It doesn't do anything for me.
It's very unenthused.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, she's back. I did enjoy the first season. But I didn't enjoy her. I enjoyed Kilgrave. I don't actually. I like her sometimes as an actress. I don't think she's a bad actress, but her character, I don't know, man. It's
Kind of a
I think her
one note song.
she is.
Oh,
She's
I was
very.
gonna say,
She's not very. Yeah, exactly. She's very one note.
Boo-hoo, my life is in shambles because of severe mental
I'm
abuse.
angry and I'm drunk and I'm gonna be really bitchy.
And I'm gonna fuck everybody inside.
Yeah.
I feel like, because we were
hungover. That's
talking,
basically me, except it's less fucking.
out of all the characters that we have doing
Involuntarily.
Netflix stuff, I feel like Jessica Jones, and maybe it's just the writing from the comics itself, has a like deeper story to tell than like Iron Fist is a white dude that's a ninja and supposed to be.
If that. I mean, let's be fair.
Yeah.
The fighting in that was so lackluster from him anyway.
Well, I'm just saying that, and then you've got a guy that had like radiation in his eyes and he's blind, but he's a lawyer and
a
stuff,
ninja.
and a ninja, lawyer ninja, and then Luke Cage has some like a little bit of richer stuff. But I feel like Jessica Jones's story and who she is a little bit. I don't know. That's I think that's why I like it.
Got
Is
a
I feel like
heavier
it's a little
story.
bit heavier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I'm just saying her as an actress, but I don't think any of those actors are
No,
great or
Because
terrible.
Allison was talking about how much she loves her as an actress, and I was like, I don't think she is a like Oscar actress or anything
No.
like that. She'll never do anything like that. But I think she is excellent at this part because I think they cast perfectly.
Yeah, I think
some
they're
of these
exactly
things.
where they need to be in life.
Yeah.
They're on a Netflix TV show that gets great ratings
Yes,
and they don't
it's
need to be in
high
movies.
production.
Yeah,
to
high
me,
production.
I think it's funny because with the villains though, like with both Kilgrave, I thought his acting was superior. I mean, he was phenomenal.
oh, he was great.
And
yeah.
same with Kingpin. I mean, like because they
And
cast,
Cottonmouth.
Cottonmouth
was
yeah, that's
was
right. Yeah,
amazing,
Cottonmouth
too.
was great. Like they've cast these phenomenal villains.
Maybe
Like,
that's one reason that Iron Fist. No, because Punisher doesn't have a great villain. It's a good villain, but the guy's not great.
But I would say that the guy that
Bernthal's
plays
a really good actor,
is
though.
but the guy that
incredible.
plays the Punisher,
Yeah.
he's really good. He's
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
probably out of all of them one of the best.
He's
actors.
a good actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does emote and have a really good range of.
But
of
you don't
emotions.
have either of those really in Iron Fist. Because I mean,
No.
what's the guy's name?
Danny Rand.
No, the actual guy.
Oh, that wasn't
Clive Owen?
That was
I don't know.
That was a documentary.
Oh, I can't
Yeah.
remember his damn name.
I can't either right offhand. I know it, but it's not coming to me right
he's
now.
not a very good actor.
Chris
I
Pontius.
was going to say, I think he's a decent actor because he was decent in Game of Thrones, but he wasn't carrying
I
the
didn't
whole
think-
thing.
Man, Game of Thrones, he was such a bit part. He was a very.
That's what I'm saying. He wasn't carrying a whole thing. So whatever. Jessica Jones 2. I'm hyped big time because I love Jessica Jones 1. It was my favorite. So we also got a full trailer for Solo, a Star Wars story. Ooh. Did y'all not like the trailer?
It's okay.
I like the trailer.
I thought the trailer was way better than.
Trailer looks fun. I don't like the guy playing Han.
I feel like I haven't got to see anything from him hardly yet.
I
don't
think
know.
that's a sign, though, that Disney's not showing much. I don't know, like because he literally has, and that trailer is I don't know, almost 2 minutes, a minute 40, and you get 2 quick scenes of him.
Yeah,
and it's
and
his
he's
solo movie.
Exactly, and so
But that's a Star. This is a teaser,
yeah,
and that's like a Star Wars thing anyway. They're going to show you a lot of
But
cool things.
With Rogue One, they showed a lot of the main girl on
Yeah.
those. You know, they had
showed
her
a lot
doing
of
her.
her.
they
like,
didn't show any
quips.
like scenes or anything.
Yeah,
They showed,
they had those like her speeches. Like they had that one where she's like standing at the table making that
yeah,
declaration.
like
in
we
her part.
rebel and
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
that type
scenes
of
that weren't actually in the movie. They
Yeah.
cut because everyone complained about it.
But yeah, I mean he's barely in it. I don't know, something about him just doesn't fit the part. I think the same way about Don Glover. I haven't seen him in do it.
Yeah.
I love Don Glover and other stuff, but he just doesn't. It's not Lando. It's not. I'm
yeah,
Billy D. Williams spoiled. So
yeah,
I mean,
for real.
I'm just not getting that same vibe off of him. So.
Yeah,
So he's going to be a little bit. I'm wondering how they're going to kill off the chick that's playing Daenerys. Or what's her name? What's the actress from Game of Thrones that's in the movie?
I don't know her name ever. It's the one that
Amelia
Mother
Clark?
Jackson,
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just guessing that she's going to die in this movie. Like they're bringing her.
sure.
That's going to be his.
Yeah.
she's
like,
going to
love
be his
interest.
love interest.
And
Yeah,
I'm
Yeah.
wondering when they're going to kill her in it because
'Cause
she's not a very good actress.
That
honestly.
was Maz in the one
I'm
part,
pretty
right?
sure. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was,
So we'll get some of that.
which is nice.
Yeah.
Build
Yeah.
her story in a little bit.
You know, I mean, visually it looks beautiful. I'll
Yeah.
give I like all
For a
that
movie I
stuff.
never wanted, it looks like it might be fun. So we'll see.
And it could be fun. I could
Yeah.
be eating my words.
Absolutely,
3 months from
we
now,
have been
but-
wrong on them.
Words delicious.
And like none of us really liked Rogue One, but people love the fuck out of
I've
Rogue
started
One.
liking it.
Have you? You've watched it a couple of times,
Yeah.
now, haven't you?
You're like forcing yourself to like it.
Yeah.
No,
You keep
it
going.
really does kind of. I don't know. On repeated watchings, you can see things that didn't come up in the theater and stuff like that. You know, just other details that you missed.
You're doing what people do with pop music. You just keep going back to it, and you
Yeah.
eventually start to like it.
Or like,
Yeah, I gotta like this as Star Wars.
yeah.
Fuck, it sucks. No, it doesn't. I'm gonna watch it again.
I mean, Rogue One hit me, but it really loves me. So, moving.
It'll change this time when I hit play.
It promises.
I don't know.
It'll
there's
be better this
There's
time.
some other themes going on in it and everything. I've grown to like it after taking my expectations down on it and watching it again with different opinions.
There's
Take
other
my-
things in people in life that people do until they grow to like it.
All right. So, last but not least, Deadpool 2 Meet Cable teaser.
Definitely the best of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have to say that it looks. I don't know. To me, even though it's teaser, it looks fucking badass.
Yeah.
I didn't know how much I wanted to see Cable on the big screen because I think Josh Brolin looks the part
Yeah.
fucking pretty phenomenal actually.
And
Yeah.
he looks and sounds like I imagined Cable looking and sounding.
Yeah.
Um,
Like gravel.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good. I love the digs that they've done at Marvel or at Disney and Justice League and all kinds of stuff thrown in there. Like there's a dig at no Brolin doing Thanos and everything like that. Fine, I'll do it myself. You know,
There was that. There was also the. I wondered if this was supposed to be. You looked a lot taller. Shut up.
yeah.
So I wondered if that was supposed to be another Thanos thing. So yeah, It's Deadpool. It's what Deadpool is.
Well,
I mean,
even like the very first time I watched it, it flashes real quick, and you see the green on the arm. I was like, oh man, what's going on? And then they just played it up to the theater, like, what the shit is this? Like, you guys didn't finish the special effects, and it's actually kind of cool just to see Brolin all decked out and seeing how he just wears a green sock on his arm, and then they CGI it. And it's even neat just seeing that little quick window. And then you also get the quick preview of all the added characters that are going to be in it.
Or some of them, at least. We don't know how many will actually be added.
Yeah.
So.
Domino, Terry fucking Crews.
Terry Crews.
As himself.
As Terry Crews.
I hope.
As the...
I hope they've done that.
Deadpool, I heard you need my help.
If there's not a scene with him just flexing his pecs and bouncing bullets off.
The only other thing that would be acceptable is if he's... his character from Idiocracy. That'd be the only other thing that would be acceptable.
Dwayne Herbert Elizondo Mountain Dew Camacho.
Yes.
Every time that's brought up, Mike's able to recite the name. I love it.
I love that name.
That's
my favorite name.
That's why I bring it up, so he'll have to.
Yeah, so
recite
he'll
it.
have to do it. We tried not to make Bruce Almighty references, but Idiocracy, we're going to make that about 4 times an episode.
Yeah.
Is there any rumor of you guys or who the villain will be for Deadpool 2? And
I hadn't even thought. Probably Deadpool. Cable? I don't know what.
Yeah, he and Cable are fighting.
Yeah.
I think it's just gonna. It's a classic hero misunderstanding fight that's gonna go on between him and Deadpool.
that's
or
going to
and
happen
Cable.
at least.
bigger bad in the background.
Yeah. I don't know.
I could be happy with a number of people. Mr. Sinister,
T-Ray.
which would be fun. Yeah, maybe.
I feel like they'll keep
Strife.
I think they'll keep it more towards like the weird Deadpool ones.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Strife would be weird. Real fucking weird.
Yeah.
But man, you would have to make a decision to decide you're going to do Strife in a movie.
Exactly.
So,
and this is a perfect way to throw out that weird ass shit and just get it done.
Get it done before Disney won't let you do it anymore.
Exactly.
But also, you only have to pay one actor.
Exactly.
So, all right. Well, that's what we got for the news. Y'all want to come back and do some mailbagging?
Let's do it.
Down.
All right, so our first question comes from Instagram, because we're doing a lot more Instagram lately. We got a question from Instagram. So if you're not following us on Instagram, get your ass on there.
I mean, yeah, do that.
Do that thing. It comes from
Then just forget about it. Just delete our podcast.
from more gooder than on Instagram. Asks, do you like LaCroix? If so, why?
It's actually pronounced LaCroix.
Oh, is it?
I don't know.
Oh, I thought it was LaCroix.
What is it?
It's like
it's a lightly flavored grapefruit water drink, I think.
It's not always grapefruit. They're different flavors. I've only had the grapefruit, and I thought that shit was nasty.
I've never had it.
I would maybe use it as a mixer for something, but fuck, I don't know what.
No idea.
When I drink flavored water, I like it to be flavored with like wheat,
scotch,
and hops.
Yeah,
and some malted sugars, and barley. Yeah,
that's usually and I like it to be flavored for a while.
Just sitting
long flavored.
Sitting in the flavors for about 16 years.
Sometimes,
usually,
if they put it,
we might have a LaCroix here. We might try that afterwards, just for the shit of it.
Putting LaCroix up for 16 years and seeing if it tastes the same.
Drinking it straight out the can.
Probably wouldn't taste much different.
Probably not. I don't like the shit. I've only tried it once, but
we'll do a taste test.
Zima.
I'll piss in one of the cans, and then you can drink the LaCroix and see which one you prefer.
I like this.
Well, you also have to drink.
Now we're going to try one afterwards, and TJ's going to be like, huh. I like this.
It's just the same.
LaCroix drink now.
Just tastes like my urine, and I'm tired of drinking that.
All right, let's move over to Twitter.
Cut out the middle, man.
The Twitter. So if you're not following us on Twitter, you can follow us at Nerds Who Get Laid. Jaeger Crystal asks, will Black Panther really hit 1 billion like people are saying? So a lot of people think that Black Panther is going to hit $1 billion.
It went international already, right?
Oh, I don't know.
I thought it already released internationally.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I'm not
I
sure.
thought I'd read that somewhere, but maybe not. $1 billion.
I don't think it has the legs to reach $1 billion.
I think it's probably about, 500 million? 700?
Maybe.
I'm gonna guess 850.
850. But I don't think it'll reach $1 billion.
Billion
no.
That's for
That's Avengers or Star Wars money. That's
yeah, exactly. I mean, there's
I
a
don't
lot of hype on this movie, but I still just don't see it. I think it's going to do extremely well. I think it's going to have a phenomenal knockout.
I think it
opening
probably hit
weekend.
about 300 domestic.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like I think it's gonna kill it this weekend.
Yeah. I think it'll be one of the higher Marvel single character films.
There's a lot of hype around it, a lot of excitement. So I think that's going to get asses in the seat for the first couple of days.
I don't know if it'll beat out Guardians. I don't know if it'll beat out Avengers, but I think almost everything else it'll probably beat out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. For it to to beat like Avengers or like the full ensemble,
that would be incredible if it did. I wouldn't know what to think of the world after Black Panther if that happened. It would be a very
Did
interesting.
Wonder Woman hit $1 billion?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't think
it did, but I'm not sure. I could be wrong.
I think Wonder Woman was around the 8 or so. I know it did really good, but I don't think it did.
All right, Lava Hog asked on Instagram, would you be willing to get perms if I gave you a Glamour Shots gift card?
Yes.
So, well,
I don't have much hair, so I'm good for that, I guess.
Well, I was gonna say the only two that might be able to get perms are me and old Chuck that's not here. But I've actually had a perm before. So
shit.
I see Ray with a perm.
I had one before at one point. So if I'm getting free Glamour Shots out of that shit, fuck yeah, I'm gonna get me a perm.
Just dress the same
do all
way
5
you
of
do
us.
now.
Yeah, do all 5 of us.
Yeah. Send us 5 gift cards for perms and Glamour Shots, and we're in.
We're there.
Hell, just send us a box of perm stuff, and we'll probably do it.
Yeah,
we'll do it next game night.
I'm not beyond it.
Let's do it ourselves.
All right, Nerds Chatting asked on Instagram, the final issue of Invincible, number 144, is hitting shelves on Wednesday. Do you guys read the comic? If not, do you plan to? Now you can binge read the whole thing. If you do, how distressed will you be to see it go? I know you've read some Invincible, but you're not current on it.
No, by no means. I would definitely binge it.
Especially now knowing that it's a...
Yeah, I've got a complete story. I can do the whole thing. Yeah, definitely. And it is. It's a great story. It's distressed. As long as he's told the story he wants to tell, I don't see a problem. I don't get distressed over that type of thing. I don't know. I just... as long as it's got a clear beginning and end, he's told what you want to tell, yeah, I'm good.
All right, yeah. I have never read this story. 144 issues. There's nowhere... Like, I would have to go buy it. It's not on, like, Marvel Unlimited, of course.
Yeah.
Or anything like that. So I'm probably out until I find, like, some used trades or something like that. If I can find the whole series for what I consider a decent price, I would pick that up and give it a read. Because I know people love it, and it's supposed to be really good, so...
Yep. Yeah, that's one of the few comics I've heard a lot of praise about.
Yeah,
in my limited exposure to the industry.
All right, so we're gonna switch gears and head on over to the Facebooks. Okay. And the first question we have here is from Brian Marshall. He says, "Mailbag."
Okay,
we already know
that's a great question.
What's the biggest disappointment you guys had in 2017? Rather, it be movies, anything. Mine was the movie It Comes at Night. I don't know It Comes at Night.
But I know that movie.
Yeah, was it bad?
I haven't watched it. Actually, it's a movie I want to see. It was very... I don't know, it looks like a post-apocalyptic movie. There's a guy, he's out in the woods, and he runs into his family that brings him into the house. And he's like, you can stay here, be honest, but at night, this door doesn't open. And I guess one night, the door's open. And that's what the trailer's about. It had a lot of rewards, a lot of hype. So it looks interesting. It's on Prime. That's why I've been thinking about watching it. It's just getting in the mood to watch that type of movie. Mm-hmm. So I wonder what he expected and why he didn't enjoy it. Because it definitely doesn't look like a horror movie. It looks like a very suspenseful thriller.
Yeah. Okay.
Is this nerd related or is it?
Biggest, just nope. Rather movies or anything.
Okay.
My biggest disappointment is Brian Marshall in 2017. Brian, your car sucks. You're not getting enough gains. You better fucking pump those numbers up, you son of a bitch.
Okay. Mike?
Come back to me.
I don't know. I feel like 2017, there weren't a ton of like real big letdowns.
No.
I thought Justice League was sort of a letdown because I wanted a lot more out of it. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Off the top of my head, the only thing I guess was Suicide Squad. I thought we were going to get something a little bit better from what the previews
Something
gave us.
different
I
than
didn't
what
think it
we
was
got.
going to be a great movie, but I definitely didn't think it was going to be what we got.
Well, he also wants to know how Chuck feels about Ronda Rousey coming to WWE. Of course, Chuck is not here.
We have Chuck on the phone, though. And, Chuck, are you there? Okay, it sounds like...
It's hard to hear him over the phone because there's so much neck turbulence.
Some neck air. What do you
The wrestling's also turned up really loud in the background.
Do any of y'all have any opinions about
None
Ronda
at all.
No.
I'm glad she can find work.
Yeah,
Because she's no
I
actress.
agree.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's a step down or not because you still have to be pretty physically fit to be in, to do that.
Because she's not the I can't remember the guy's name. The huge guy with the giant knife, Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
He makes the jumps back and forth. So.
Who are the X-Force characters in the new Deadpool trailer? So we paused during this.
It's Terry Crews, Domino.
But it's a 6-pack, right? Is that am I right to read?
We think from reading some other stuff and some of our nerd knowledge that we called down from the heavens that maybe the 6-pack.
Ray's personal email at marvel.com.
Yeah, my source at marvel.marvel.
I'll call Latino News and see what's up.
Yeah, we'll see what they say. Oh, it looks like we have Shatterstar there.
Yeah.
Terry Crews could either be GW Bridge or Grizzly
Terry Crews.
or Terry Crews. Probably.
I'm pulling
Terry
for Terry
Crews.
Crews, honestly. But
Domino, of course, is there.
Mm.
And then there's a guy in the back that I think maybe Maverick, but
Looks
I'm
a lot
not
like
sure.
him.
I don't know. It could also just be some other one-off whatever. But I don't think that's going to be X-Force. But you never know.
I'm an left field pick here. I'd really like it to be Gold Balls.
God, if Gold Balls were to come to the screen before so many other people, that would be so good. But they do have the rights to Gold Balls. God,
Yeah,
so that
Office villain, Gold Balls.
Golden Face's brother.
plonk, 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 plonk. Are you guys interested in the new Black Panther Hot Toy light-up suit? So Hot Toys just released a new image of a Black Panther that has like a black light stand, and it has his glowing paint job with his other suit and everything.
This one.
We talked about it last night at game night some.
I will lead off. TJ, of course, the reigning Hot Toys expert with Micah. I don't think it's worth the price point that's being asked of $260.
Yeah, you said the price was $260.
Yeah, I think the price point's a bit high
Yeah,
for what you get.
Because there's not a whole lot going on. I think the Black Panther figure is really cool. I think the design's awesome, but there's not a lot going on.
How much was the other Black Panther? The Civil War one,
$225, which I think was overpriced at the time as well.
Because you don't get anything.
So that's kind of a big reason why I've been passing on it. And it's like, man, there's not much there. I can't justify the money for it.
Exactly.
And I found it for like 180, and I'm like, no, I can't do that.
Yeah, exactly. Because, like I said, I think the figure looks really cool, but it's essentially just one giant, one-piece suit with a head sculpt. I mean, that's it.
Yeah, I've got in the same type of material, from what I understand, is what they've used in like the Superman suit from like BVS, and the Spider-Man suit that's coming out. It's a similar type thing, and for what you get with the Spider-Man for a similar price point, you get so much more stuff with it. So
really?
Just can't see that price.
Yeah. So,
Mike, you interested?
I mean, it looks cool. I'm looking at the pictures right now. I'm kind of pumping the brakes, so probably not. but the whole like lighting effect is really cool.
This was actually one because Chuck was wanting the first Black Panther, and he was like debating this one.
Yeah.
But I think he decided against it as well.
Yeah.
Michael on Facebook as well says, just watched Wonder Woman with the kids, and then we watched Thor Ragnarok. Even though Wonder Woman was the best DC movie made, when the hell are they going to figure out how to make a damned comic book movie? Well, we've got Aquaman coming out next. That'll be out this year.
Yeah.
Next year, is it the Batman?
I
And
think
what else is coming out?
because they kind of scrapped the plans for Cyborg, wasn't it?
We also have the Shazam movie that's coming out.
With
next
Zachary
year?
Levy, right?
Yeah.
Because
I don't know if that's next year or not. I can't
There's
remember.
nothing on the docket for DC this year, is there?
Aquaman.
Aquaman.
Aquaman's
That comes
it.
out this year, really?
Yeah.
2018. No.
And they only have one coming out this year. Suicide Squad 2, I think, is next year.
Yeah.
That's right.
And so
they're
probably Suicide Squad 2, the Batman, and maybe Shazam, one of those two might be coming out. Shazam, they've been kind of moving ahead on.
I would hope with Shazam they would take some of that fun like they did with Ragnarok and infuse it into that character.
Because that could
Because
be.
you can.
Yeah, you can have a lot of fun with it, and people will roll with it. They're not, most people don't know anything about Shazam, so they're just,
Nowadays, you can get away with practically anything on a comic book movie.
Yeah. Because we've talked about before, Wonder Woman we thought was a really good movie, but the third half kind of suffered, and I think Justice League got beat up a whole lot about their CGI, whereas Wonder Woman's CGI at the end wasn't great either.
No.
So I don't know.
Any movie that does a giant warehouse green screen action at the end is just gonna take you out of the moment, and you're done.
Or you've got to really be able to suspend your disbelief and everything, which I think honestly, if we're watching goddamn comic book movies, people need to learn to do a little bit more.
Oh, yeah.
But to my thing is like, I'm watching this $1 million comic book movie that they've invested. Spend the money and make a really good third act that you've invested in sets
absolutely,
and stuff like that. If I've spent this much money, you've spent, and actually number one, you've spent this much money as a studio, build some damn sets. Stop trying to put everything on. Me and Mike had a pretty long conversation about this last night, but use practical effects first and then fill in with CGI to make
something incredible.
Magic. Exactly. And when you just throw it in a box and people are just running in front of a green screen, it's going to kill the imagination, and people are just going to notice that, not notice what's going on story-wise.
So do y'all think Aquaman is going to be on par with Wonder Woman, or more in the vein of the others?
What I worry about is I think they have, with what they've done with Wonder Woman, I think they have the right mojo going towards to have a fun movie. I'm more worried about the character himself, of what they're going to do with him.
Yeah.
And so those are like the things I worry about, like, because they can make, Aquaman was pretty fun in Justice League, so I could see them, having a lot of fun in the actual Aquaman movie. And they have a lot. Actually, I think Aquaman kind of mirrors Thor in a lot of ways, where they could
very much.
They could make the same mistakes Marvel made with Thor at first, where they tried to make him just this very serious, fish out of water types, like, with Aquaman, it'd be almost literal. Like,
I think just embrace the crazy with it.
Yeah.
Just go with it.
Yeah.
I guess time will tell.
We'll see. Marvel's one of the other things that we didn't go over. Marvel's doing their 10th anniversary of the MCU, so they've kind of been doing this right now longer than, there's the Nolan stuff and all that, but this is they've rebooted all of this, and they've got new people on top of this. So it's a completely different thing.
Nolan's thing pretty much ended in 2011, right?
I don't recall. Maybe
because Dark Knight was 2008. So they've been doing this. This was their 10th anniversary. Marvel's.
Yeah,
they've been doing this at least since Dark Knight came out.
Yeah.
So
we'll just have to wait and see. I don't think there's. I'm hoping everything's moving forward, and
I want to see good DC movies.
I really do. I want the Green Lantern film that's down the docket to be good. Yeah. Because the last one,
horrible.
You know what it was. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's all the questions we got this week. Thanks, guys, so much. If you want to send us questions, you can email them to us at nerdswhogetlaid gmail.com. Go post them you can just post them on our wall or send them to us on Twitter or Instagram, but we usually post something up on Sundays before we record, and you can get those to us and we'll talk about them on here.
Yeah.
So, like always, thank you for listening to Nerds Get Laid, and next week you will definitely be hearing at least a majority of these guys review of Black Panther.
Yeah, probably.
That'll be coming out, and about all the sweet love making we were making all week for Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Sometimes it's coming, guys. Sometimes it's coming.
So this has been Nerds Get Laid. Sometimes.
Thank you.
Bye.
Nerds Who Get Laid Sometimes is recorded at the illustrious Big Brown Record Town Studios in beautiful downtown Lake City. Episodes are published each Monday on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, and Google Play. You can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Nerds Who Get Laid. We're at Nerds Who Get Laid on Twitter and Instagram. We're part of the Geeks World Wide podcast network. You can find reviews and articles we write at thegww.com. We're also part of the Modest Pod podcast network. We're on FloridaGeekscene.com and also WeBeGeeksPC.com. Please subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and Podbean. You can also check out the show notes for links about things we talked about in this episode. Thanks so much.
This has been a production of the GWW Radio Network. Please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. Also, check out Geeks Worldwide at thegww.com for all the latest news, reviews, and opinions on video games, comics, movies, TV, cosplay, and more. Geeks Assemble!